Hi everyone, Sam Owen here. Today I'm going to talk about 3 ways in which self-care improves your relationships. Self-care means engaging in activities that care for our mind, body and brain to keep us happy and healthy. There are all sorts of activities you can use, for example, me time, bathing, eating nutritious food, immersing yourself in nature, exercising, getting a good night's sleep, talking kindly to yourself, and only allowing positive relationships to stay around you. Most of these are backed by a wealth of research. For example, scenes and sounds of nature calm us down physiologically, de-stressing us and increasing our mental health. Prayer, meditation, both mindfulness and transcendental, has been shown to improve our heart health and our mental health. And moderate intensity aerobic exercise done for 30 to 45 minutes, 3 to 5 times a week, depending on the study you're looking at, has been shown to be incredibly effective for treating major depressive disorder, potentially as effective as antidepressants. Now, when it comes to self-care, a lot of people either think it's just a nice to have treat rather than a must have part of their routine, or they just feel incredibly guilty about taking time out for it. But let me reassure you, good self-care frequently, daily really, is incredibly important and it's vital. Just like drinking water, it has to be a part of your routine. So don't feel guilty about it. You need it and everyone around you will benefit too. So let's look at ways in which self-care improves our relationships. Number 1, self-care raises our self-esteem, making it easier to have positive relationships. Good self-care elevates our self-esteem because it reinforces that message in our brain that we are valuable. We always look after the things that are valuable. So when you look after yourself, your brain goes, I must be valuable. And when you see yourself as valuable, it raises your self-esteem and you become more proactive about your happiness and about achieving the goals that are important to you. That also then raises your confidence, which in turn makes you have much better relationships with other people because you come at them from a calm, confident place. In contrast, when you fail to engage in sufficient self-care, it can lower your self-esteem, make you feel anxious and insecure, you can let people mistreat you, and you can accidentally sabotage your relationships with others too. Your brain is paying attention to how you treat yourself, so keep reinforcing your worth with good daily self-care because that forms the basis of having happy, healthy relationships with others. Number 2, self-care reinforces your resilience so that you can be there for others. If you're a naturally giving person, being there for others is part of your self-image. And yet, if you can't be there for others, you're going to struggle with your self-image, feel bad about yourself, feel guilty for not being there for your loved ones. And the thing is that when you're feeling lacking in resilience, it's very hard to support other people. In my book, Resilient Me, I describe one of the ways in which you can tune into your body to work out if you're feeling resilient or lacking in resilience. And I use the acronym OFF. Are you feeling off? OFF standing for overwhelmed, fatigued, or fragile. When you're feeling overwhelmed, fatigued, or fragile, it's near impossible to be there for others in the way that you ordinarily would. So by engaging in sufficient self-care, you can replenish your resilience, recharge yourself so that you can be there for your loved ones, because that's what relationships are all about. And me time is a great one for this. If you have time out from everyone's demands on your time, energy, and focus, it gives you time to just rebuild yourself back up, and then you can be there for everybody else in the way that you normally would, thereby improving your self-image again and also improving your relationships. And number 3, self-care improves our communication. Getting a good night's sleep is linked to being able to communicate better because a lack of sleep can hinder our emotional expressiveness, which in turn can cause misunderstandings within our social network. And that's critical when you want to communicate well with other people, because if, for example, you're experiencing really extreme negative emotions like anger or anxiety, in that state you're in fight or flight, and therefore the prefrontal cortex at the front of your brain doesn't work to its optimum level because it's not meant to, because your brain is just preparing you to either fight or flee. And so in that state, the prefrontal cortex, which is involved with critical thinking, decision making, problem solving, amongst other things, is going to be hindered. And so as a result, you're not going to be having great conversations. Those are the moments in which really simple conversations can go awry, misunderstandings can lead to arguments, and you might end up saying something that you regret, or you might just avoid someone when really you just need to speak to them and resolve the issue in hand. And that's where good self-care comes in, because if you can then engage your parasympathetic nervous system, which is our rest and digest system, which helps get us back into a calm state again, that then enables us to once again be able to use our prefrontal cortex and therefore have great communication with other people. So if you or anyone else is making you feel guilty about having time out for self-care, just remember that having self-care daily and as and when we need it actually makes us happier and healthier, better at communication, much more pleasant to be around, and therefore massively helps our relationships. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.